Hi everyone, this is Miss S from Excelsior Charter School, and today we're going to be covering Geometry, Lesson 4-7, on using CPCTC. We're going to be talking about common parts and separating overlapping figures today, and we're going to begin with some of the questions from our lesson. This first one wants us to identify the common parts of triangles DFG and EHG. So the easiest thing to do is to turn them into two different colors. So I've done that here in red and green. DFG is in red and EHG is in blue. When it comes to angles, you can see that they both share a common angle here with angle G. Also, you will see that angle G is in the same position for both of the triangles. You may also see that the side here, GF, is common. You can see there's red and blue overlapping that. The same with HG there. So our angles that are in common is just angle G, but our sides that are in common are HG and FG. And we'll move on to another one. The diagram below shows triangles from the scaffolding that workers are using when they repair and clean up the Statue of Liberty. They want us to find the common side between triangles ACD and triangles BCD. So again, it's easiest to draw these with different colors. So I drew ACD in yellow and BCD in green. And what you'll find is that they overlap each other right here on segment CD. Our second section wants us to name another pair of triangles that share a common side. So we'll look and see which ones work for that. So for our first option, I put BDA in blue and I put BDE in yellow. And it says that they share side BA, which is over here, but as you can see, there's only blue there. So this is not the correct answer. For our second one, I put BCD in green and EDB in blue, and it says that it shares part BD, which would be right here in the middle, and it looks like that is true because I can see both green and blue there. For our third one, we put triangles ABC in yellow, but if you'll notice, CBC isn't even a triangle. So this one is definitely not accurate, and we have our answer to those two questions from the lesson. And we will move on to some questions from the practice. This first question says that ZW and XY are congruent, and that angle YXW is a right angle, and angle ZWX is a right angle. The question asks us to name a pair of overlapping congruent triangles in the diagram and to state why they are congruent. If we look at all of the information they've given us here, what we should see is look for common sides or common angles, things that the triangles have in common. So we can certainly see that this angle and this angle are congruent because they're vertical angles, but they're not in common. One thing that they do have in common, though, might be side WX, because the bottom is in two different triangles here, and it is certainly common to both of those. So if we look at the green triangle and the blue triangle, you'll see how WX is in common for both of those triangles. So if we look at the blue triangle, here we have a side marked, we have an angle marked, and we have a side marked. And if we look at the green triangle, we have the same side, angle, side marked. And so I would be inclined to say the answer is side, angle, side, and you can double check the congruent statement. It starts at the top here with Z, moves down to the right angle of W, and then goes across to the small angle of X. And the same holds true. It starts up at the top with Y, goes down to the right angle of X, and then across to the small angle of W. So yes, this is the correct answer. Let's try our last one. Looks like we have several different triangles in this, and let's look to see if we can find anything in common. It looks like we have angle L in common for at least two of these triangles. I don't see any sides that they have in common or any other angles, but it definitely has angle L. So it's given that LP is congruent to LO. It's given that PM is congruent to ON, and now we have an angle between them. So if we're looking at the triangles, it looks like we have a side and then an angle and then a side. We certainly do not have side, side, side because we haven't been given all that information. So the question is, which congruent statement is accurate? If we look at the bottom down here, QON and QMP is using the two angles at the bottom, which doesn't have, it has one angle and one side only, and that's not enough information for side angle side. So let's double check our other angles. So if we look at the blue triangle that we've drawn here, we start up here at L, we move across the side that we know to N, and then over to P. And that gives us triangle LNP. And for our second triangle in green, we also start up at L. We move down the side that we do have, that we do know, and then over to O. So this is the correct answer here. Good luck, everybody. I hope you guys do great.